Hi everyone, this is John Bradley. I'm the director of the Writing Studio, and I will be talking briefly about designing research posters in the social sciences and humanities. When it comes to formatting research posters in the social sciences and humanities, you have several basic choices. You will want to choose whichever best fits your particular project. First, you might choose to use a modified IMRAD format, moving through your introduction, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion, much like a poster in the sciences would tend to do. We see a version of the modified IMRAD format here in the template poster pictured on the slide, and for which I owe credit to Texas Tech University's Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development Center. For some projects in the humanities and social sciences, you might find it easier to structure your poster around a research question and answer format, or a format that flows from a problem or challenge to a solution. With the research question and answer format, you would start by laying out your central research questions, why they matter, and how you work to answer them. With a problem or challenge to solution format, you would introduce the central challenge or problem you set out to address, why it's one your readers should care about, and the steps you took to arrive at a novel solution. Whichever format you choose, keep the following in mind. With your text, be succinct and aim to be visually accessible and navigable. Make sure to clearly highlight a key takeaway. Plan to lead the way with visuals. Think of your poster as a set of visuals backed up by text, rather than the other way around. Your chosen images and visual data should grab your viewer's attention, convey the scope, data, and conclusions of your study, and explain and enrich your message. Alright, now it's your turn to consider this first example of a research poster presented at a recent Vanderbilt undergraduate research fair. As we take in from the title, this poster's focus is on a project that analyzed children's literature in the early years of the American Republic, and the changes made to the texts to foster a sense of nationalism. As far as I'm concerned, the title has me fascinated and eager to learn more. So let's consider the slide itself. At this point, pause the recording and take a moment to form some impressions as a viewer. What stands out to you positively or negatively? What might you imitate? What might you aim to do differently? Okay, now that you've taken a moment to form some thoughts and impressions of your own, I'll share what stands out to me. First, I see plenty that I appreciate here, so I'll start with the positive. I love that this poster leads with its visuals. My eye naturally moves from the title to the poster's most prominent feature, the 4 groups of paired images under the heading Analysis. The paired images pique my curiosity and make me want to have the presenter talk me through her findings. However, that's also where I see room for further refinement. As a viewer, I find that the poster provides little guidance on how I should interpret the images without someone to talk me through them. In this sense, the poster does not stand very well on its own. What about the text? The only explanatory text here comes in the form of the abstract section, which I've zoomed in on to make it a little bit more readable. While it reads like the abstract to an essay, that approach doesn't translate well to a poster. With some effort, however, it could be broken up into separate, succinct sections, each with their own header, in order to create a better visual flow for the poster's viewers. Sections might include an introduction to the topic, possibly with a separate subsection for the historical figure of Isaiah Thomas, pictured bottom left. It could build to the project's research question, then be followed by a section discussing the analysis conducted to answer that question. Bonus points if this section ties into captions for the featured images. And finally, a section highlighting the conclusions reached. That effort would take this poster to the next level, especially in terms of helping a viewer better appreciate the poster and the project in the presenter's absence. I've included this second sample for its contrast with the one we were just looking at. It comes from an NYU student presenting on a history project. Again, if it's useful, I suggest you pause and look it over briefly before I go on. Although the poster features a lot of text, that text is sized, spaced, and formatted in a way that is easier to take in. Similarly, it is organized around an engaging visual that conveys the project's bigger picture. Structurally, I see this poster as following a challenge to solution format, one that lays out the challenge of curating for conversation, as announced in the italicized and bolded text at the top of the central column. As illustrated above, the author of this poster describes it as essentially following the structure of a paper. It moves from abstract on the left to the body in the central column's bullets, and finally, a conclusion. The right-hand column's concluding materials double as a call to action with action steps articulated in easy-to-follow bullet points. Likewise, note how both the QR code and suggested resources both allow the audience to learn more and engage beyond the poster. Here's my final sample poster, this time from a student presenting their psychology honors thesis at a recent Vanderbilt undergraduate research fair. Please pause and take it in. Once again, as you might have noticed, I chose this poster for contrast with the more text-heavy sample we just looked at. Honestly, speaking for myself, I love how clearly and simply this poster lays out its main conclusion in the central column. I also credit this author for how clearly the tables in the left and right-hand columns visualize the relevant data. They also appear to have made an art of concision with the text presented in their background, study design, and conclusions sections. However, I think it is fair to wonder whether the textual concision is a bit extreme. I notice, for instance, that there is no attempt to introduce the topic more broadly, especially in terms of its significance and why the audience should care. In terms of allowing the poster to stand on its own, that seems like a major missed opportunity. In the end, I hope that this student sample, like all the others, provides you with food for thought and helps you imagine a range of possibilities as you work on your own social science and humanities poster designs. My biggest recommendation is not to go through the process of designing your poster alone. In addition to seeking guidance and input from your mentors and fellow students, I hope you will also keep the writing studio in mind. Our amazing writing consultants can provide you with the valuable perspective of an outside audience to your research and your poster, and we'd love to be part of your design process. To schedule a free 50-minute writing consultation today, visit our website, vanderbilt.edu/writing.